Hello, this video is going to go over the group letter assignment that is due in week 4. There will be a separate video that goes over the collaborative writing project. I recommend highly that you watch both during week 4 and then watch the collaborative again during week 5. So if we navigate to week 4, what we'll see here is the group letter assignment. So this week we begin our group project, and the requirements for week 4 are much more minor than they are for weeks 5 and 6. Weeks 5 and 6 are blocked together because they are a group project that spans both weeks, and it starts in week 4. So your task this week is to form into groups. I'm not going to assign them. I want you guys to pick them by yourselves. What I recommend you do is you use Twitter to find peers to match up with. Once you found your peers on Twitter, then you guys can begin writing the group letter. That will count for your tweets for the week. It'll count for your replies for the week, so you're completing 2 assignments all in the exact same place, so everybody wins. So make sure you find your group on Twitter. Okay, so I'm going to go through the group letter assignment very briefly. So you're going to read for this week chapters 4, 7, and 8. There is a separate video that covers some notes and how those apply directly to the writing process that we've been discussing all semester. So make sure you read all 3 chapters before you write the group letter or project. So what I want you to write is a group letter that tells me the collaborative writing, tells me the members of your collaborative writing project group. Who is it that has agreed to work together? I expect 2 to 4 members of the class to work together. And then a plan for working together across multiple weeks on this collaborative writing project. What technology are you guys comfortable with? How do you want to use that technology? When can you guys meet up? You do not have to meet up face-to-face. There are tons of technologies that allow you to build collaborative documents without ever having to meet face-to-face. If you need pointers for that, send me a tweet and then I can post, here's what I'm used to. But if you do that, you need to give me an idea of what you want the technology to be used for, so I can best recommend a technology to support what your group wants to do. For this assignment, you're going to select your own group members. There are plenty of free technology applications that will allow you to work virtually on the same project by web conference in documents in projects. So Prezis, infographics, Google Docs, Google Sites, Adobe Spaces that we actually got through Millersville. So I don't expect you to meet unless you want to. You can do all of this virtually. I've seen it done virtually because this is not the first time I've assigned this project. Send me a tweet or an email if you have any questions about technology options. And once again, you need to tell me what you want to be able to do so I can suggest technology that's going to help. So step 1, after reading the chapters, is to use Twitter to find peers to work with. Each group should consist of 2 to 4 group members from the class. Obviously, use the hashtag so that you can actually find people from our class. These interactions will then count towards your weekly tweets. I do expect you guys to find your own group members. You're adults, you can do this. If you have any trouble, please let me know ASAP. If you let me know on Sunday, the day that this group letter assignment is due, you might be working on this project by yourself, which is not what I recommend, and it is not the goal of the assignment, and so you're not meeting the goals of the assignment, which is going to then impact your grade. Find group members on Twitter. It's easy. Step 2, decide on your preferred tools for group collaboration. You do not need a plan for the collaborative writing project yet. What I want to know is, here are the ways that we're going to communicate with each other so that we stay in contact. Here's how often we think we need to stay in contact, and here's why. Step number 3 is to draft 1 letter. So each member of your group will submit the exact same letter, and I want it to be a group letter, and it's going to be written by all of you. So I've suggested Google Docs. You guys can use whatever it is that you're more comfortable with. Google Docs does allow you to comment, so you guys can send comments to each other that then remain there. You can open issues, you can close issues on Google Docs. That can be really helpful. The other advantage is, if you need me to look anything over, you can add me as an editor to your Google Doc and then direct me with where you need me to look, and that way I can go into the document that you guys are working on. You'll then load it out of Google Docs because you want it to be a formal letter that you'll then submit to D2L. So pages 112 to 120 of chapter 4 cover correspondence style. Those particular chapters specifically cover letters and what needs to go in letters. So I do not need a letterhead, but all the remaining portions of the letter need to be there. So addresses, salutations, greetings, all of that needs to be in your letter. I want it to look like a letter. So block paragraphs, no indents, extra spaces in between multiple paragraphs if you have them. Paragraphs should be single spaced. Each letter should communicate the names of the group members, so that I know you've all agreed. Communicate your plan for online group work, so this is the technology piece. How do you intend to regularly communicate? Where do you intend to regularly communicate? How often do you intend to regularly communicate? How will you contact each other when necessary? How will you ensure that you work hard to contribute your share to the project? So the goal is not to have a terrible group experience, because guess what? This is business writing and you're going to be working in groups your entire career. So get used to working together well now. It's going to benefit you in the long run. And if you have examples from a group work project that you can show or at least talk out during interviews, you're more likely to be hired. So everybody wins. Step 4, each student should submit a copy of the letter to D2L. This is step 1, so there are additional videos to go over all of the rest of it. This is the initial week 4 assignment that's due. So for week 4, you'll have tweets, and you'll have the letter saying, here's who's going to work together, and here's how we're going to work together. If you have any questions about this assignment or individual pieces of this assignment, or you want recommendations for any of the technology, feel free to send me a tweet, because I'm sure you're not the only group that's going to have those questions. If you have any questions, send me a tweet. I'll see you guys online.